I want to quickly talk to you about Funding Circle. And if you're looking for a business loan, you hear the word Funding Circle all the time. But the big question is this lender really worth it this year? So let me first talk to you about what Funding Circle is really. So if you think about Funding Circle, I want you to think about a UK-based lender, okay? But they're based in the UK, but they also actually offer loans in the United States, okay? They provide loans in Germany and the Netherlands. So this is actually one of the few international, quote unquote, international players that we actually cover. So Funding Circle is not based they're not based in the States. They are based in the UK. So that means if you have questions, if you have any question, you have to actually contact their UK-based customer service. Okay. So Funding Circle primarily is a peer-to-peer lending platform for business loans, and the fintech company provides direct lending to businesses and investment opportunities to financial institutions. Okay. So when you apply for a business loan through Funding Circle, they are going to propose your loan application to a bank or a credit union. And the bank can be in the States or it can be overseas. Okay. The bank or credit union. And the company actually launched in 2010 in the UK and soon expanded its loan offerings to the US. Okay. So today they are actually in multiple countries. And what I love about Funding Circle is that they actually have offices in Denver and San Francisco, so Colorado and California. Okay, and they are one of the best when it comes to automatic and AI-driven business lending. Okay, so it takes about 3 to 6 minutes to complete a Funding Circle loan application. So you can expect to be funded within 1 to 2 days. Okay, and Funding Circle loan products are best for you if you are an established business with good credit and you can't get financing from a bank or credit union. Okay, and also they provide actually all kinds of loans. I'll speak about the loans they provide, but they provide unsecured business loans, but they also provide SBA loans. So if you want to get an SBA loan, you can actually get it through Funding Circle, not a problem. Speaking of which, I want to delve a little bit into the loan products that Funding Circle offers this year, so you can tell whether or not this is a lender for you. Okay, so Funding Circle actually offers several loan products, including business term loans, SBA loans, and a business line of credit. Now, their business line of credit is one of the best in the industry. I mean, the best, it's on par. It's a really it has the same quality, if you will, as say Blue Vine, for instance. But let me first talk to you about the business term loan. So if you go to Funding Circle and you are looking for a business term loan, you can only be approved for 25,000 all the way to half a million. So 25,000 all the way to $500,000. Okay. So you're able to use the money for all kinds of activities, for hiring employees, for expanding locations, for marketing and advertising, for equipment purchases, or even restructuring existing debts. Okay, so this is kind of cool. The only thing is that you cannot use a Funding Circle loan to actually pay off personal debts. Okay, so they actually make sure that this doesn't happen. So besides a business term loan, you also have the possibility to get an SBA 7-8 loan through a Funding Circle. Okay, the company participates in the Small Business Administration Loan Program. So basically, I mean, when you have a loan program, basically, if you have an SBA loan program, the government is partially backing the loan. So up to 85%, basically is backed by the government, and the rest, the borrower takes care of it. You also have a business line of credit that you can get through a Funding Circle. Okay, but the amounts that they actually gave are relatively lower, only $5,000 to $25,000. So if you compare that to the 25 grand to half a million they offer, I would say this is a very measly account or measly number. So, but hey, listen, it is what it is. If you're interested in getting a business line of credit through them, go for it. So, how do you qualify for a funding circle business loans this year? Let's talk about that. So, they have actually three types of main criteria. They have years in business, credit score, and personal guarantee and business lien in some cases. The higher the amount, the more like if the amount is high, then basically they would want to have a personal guarantee. So when I say a business years in business, if you have a minimum of 2 years, you can be considered for a funding circle loan, business loan. Okay, 2 years in business, and funding circle does not provide funding to startups or younger businesses. So you're not going to get a loan from them if you are a brand new company. In terms of credit score, you got to have at least 600. At least one of the business owners must have a personal credit score of 600 or 600 to 660 to actually qualify. In addition, no business owners or shareholders can have a bankruptcy on their credit report in the previous 7 years. Okay, previous 7 years. So this is really something to really consider. And also, the personal guarantee and business lien. Well, what you have to understand here is that Funding Circle does not always offer unsecured loans, and so if they actually accept to give you an unsecured loan, you in return must provide in some cases a personal guarantee and a business lien. Okay, and the business lien allows Funding Circle to collect business assets if you as a borrower you default on the loan. Okay, so you will often need to agree to a UCC blanket lien. So in this type of collateral, the lender, such as Funding Circle, can come after your business assets, any business assets, if you as a borrower defaults. Okay. The only exclusion is that the lender can't go after any real estate that the business owns. So just be aware of that. Okay. If you want to do business with Funding Circle, there are some conditions you need to be aware of. How do you apply to Funding Circle this year? Well, the application process is pretty streamlined. Okay. Actually, you have a five-step process. And so you submit an online application, you speak to a personal account manager, you wait for the lending decision, you accept the loan offer and receive funds, and finally, you start making payments. Okay. Now, what I want to say here is that when I say submit an online application, go to the Funding Circle website and see if you can pre qualify. So you have the possibility to pre qualify first. So don't go through the process, don't apply right away. You first do the soft pull, and they will give you offers. So you give yourself a chance to review how much they could potentially offer you. That way, you're not surprised. You're not surprised. Let's just say you're not surprised of the loan decision process. Okay, because the decision can be negative too. They can deny your application. But if you go through a pre-approval, now a pre-approval doesn't guarantee approval, right? But at least you have an idea of how much you could potentially qualify for if you were to be approved. Okay, so go to their website. The application itself takes an average of 3 to 6 minutes to complete. On the application, you will indicate the loan amounts and terms you are requesting. The application also asks for information about your small business. You will need to provide the business name, the primary business owner's full name, and the business contact information such as email address and phone number. So this is really cool. Okay, and also one thing you have to do after sending all that info to Funding Circle is to speak to someone. So there is a personal account manager that will actually call you after 1 to 2 hours that you complete the online application, and the account manager will discuss your business, collect the required documentation, and help you find loan terms that meet your needs. Actually, okay, and you may need to provide other information such as your EIN, the business owners' names and social security numbers, and also driver's license information. Okay, so it's just you have to provide as much info as possible. Now, for Funding Circle, you need to know that interest rates will depend on your credit history, loan type, the loan amount, and other factors. And there are some industries that they do not actually fund, such as speculative real estate, adult entertainment, nonprofit organizations. They don't really fund those. Weapon manufacturers, gambling businesses, as well as marijuana dispensaries. So if you have one of those industries, they're not going to qualify you. So, what are the advantages of Funding Circle this year? It's important to have a clear idea about the value that Funding Circle adds to the overall economy, especially because they fund companies on both sides of the ocean, right? Right? They are in the UK, they are in Germany, they are in the Netherlands, they are also in the States. So, Funding Circle provides many advantages that you might want from an online lending platform. The company, for one, offers outstanding customer service, fast funding, and competitive interest rates. So, they have also a tech driven underwriting process that evaluates the complete financial picture of your company, which can sometimes lead to a credit approval even when other lenders deny your application, right? And some small business loans require weekly payments, which are sometimes challenging to manage. But so just be sure that you are actually you're comfortable. You're comfortable with whatever frequency they have for you. Okay. Funding Circle term loans have a monthly payments, making them more manageable in most cases. And another pro that I love with Funding Circle is that there are no hidden fees or surprises. Their pricing transparency is very transparent. Okay, they are upfront about APRs, origination fees, and late payment fees. With Funding Circle, you can count on the following: no servicing fees, no account management fees, no monthly processing fees, no transaction fees, no maintenance fees, and no administration fees actually, okay? And also, and this is a good to really keep in mind, the company doesn't charge a prepayment fee or a penalty. You can pay your loan off early and save significant interest actually. So this is really fantastic. And what are the disadvantages of Funding Circle? Well, basically, you have the $500,000 loan maximum. You will need a different lending platform if you need more than 500K. Okay. They also have high approval requirements for an online lender. So at least one business owner needs at least a credit score of 600 to 660. And funding time also takes longer. Think about it. This is a lending platform. It is not a direct lender. So, you have to account for that sort of extra time in your calculation. So, what are the pros and cons here? If you think about Funding Circle this year, the first pro is that you have a fast application process. Okay, not the decisioning process, no, the application process, because it takes a few minutes to apply. It might take 1 or 2 days to be approved, or even to be reviewed and approved. Okay, so you have monthly payments. Like I said a little earlier, some lenders want you to really do daily payments or weekly payments or whatever payments. Funding Circle is really taking it easy. They're taking it easy on your budget, on your bank statements, on your bank account. So they're just doing monthly payments. And Funding Circle will report loan payments to credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and Dun and Bradstreet on the business side, but also Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax on the personal side. You have multiple loan products. This is really good. Okay, so within business term loans, for instance, you have multiple loan products, and you have competitive interest rates as well as excellent customer service. Okay, of course, the fact that there is no prepayment penalties is really cool, really fantastic. So, what about the flip side here? Well, I just told you the fact that you have a maximum of half a million. I mean, you might say, well, half a million is already too much, but for some entrepreneurs, half a million is actually nothing. It depends on the niche you're in. It depends on what you are trying to do with the money. Okay. Also, there are some limitations by industry and states. So, like I told you, if you are doing speculative real estate, if you are in the adult entertainment industry, nonprofits, weapon manufacturer, gambling business, and legal marijuana dispensaries, those are definitely not eligible for a funding circle. And so there are longer funding times than online lenders. Okay, especially if you are asking for a large loan amount. So overall, if you think about funding circle, I want you to think about a legitimate lending marketplace. Okay, and this is actually one of the global leaders in business financing. Okay, the company has an accreditation from triple B, so they have A plus from triple B, and they have actually connected approximately 100,000 to 100,000, 120,000 businesses over the last 10, 15 years. Okay, so this is something to really think about. And so, I mean, the reason why I'm telling you this is because, like I always say, the longer a business has been operating, the more you can rely on the proven track record. If they say they have a proven track record, you can rely on that because, of course, it is proven. Okay, it is proven, and so they have been around for a while now, so they have some experience. And like I said, the fact that they actually finance businesses on both sides of the ocean tells you a lot about their ability to understand the different business mindsets that you need to have. Okay, so this is very important to think about, and that sort of expertise gives them insight into trends in the local economy, but also trends in the global economy. So remember that, like I said, Funding Circle will report your payment to major business credit bureaus, Dun and Bradstreet, Experian, and in some cases, Equifax Business. Okay, so this is kind of cool. But if you only get Dun and Bradstreet, you are set anyway, because Dun and Bradstreet is the only major credit bureau that deals exclusively with business credit. Okay, the two others, Experian and Equifax, they also deal with personal credit. Okay, TransUnion is not really present when it comes to business credit, so this is something you need to know. And so you can also have more than one funding circle business loan under certain conditions. You can apply for additional financing once you have made a six on time payments for your first loan. Also, the total credit limit is still $500,000 and the minimum loan amount is still $25,000. That means your new loan must be at least $25,000, and adding the loan cannot exceed 500,000 in total debt. So that's just kind of cool. So there is no limit to the number of loans you have if you meet those thresholds. You could potentially refinance your loan for a better interest rate or use a loan for debt consolidation. So this is kind of cool because you are trying to really streamline things. So overall, if you have good credit and you are comfortable with funding circles maximum of 500,000, then definitely go for it. In conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about Funding Circle. This was an in-depth review of the lender. I explained what Funding Circle really is, what loan products they offer, how to qualify for the loan, how to apply. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.